Yo, let's do this. April 21st, 2020. Today we are going to do the project. This is the wrong aim because I didn't change it. How can we add some CSS properties to our website project? Bum, bum, bum. With ambiguous capitals. Okay, cool. So Google question, it's going to be very basic. It's going to be summarizing what you did today, or space to ask questions. And then you're going to begin the project. So I'm going to go over the rubric that's attached to today's lesson topic. And then I will also just show you the Google question. So where we're doing this in Unit 2, Lesson 14, Number 2. What we're doing with this, we will be adding a CSS file. You can, by right-clicking, you can rename it something like home.css or index.css so that you know this was the one that goes with the main index file. And then what you're probably going to have to do is you're probably going to have to look back at previous lessons. You know, you may need to go back to lesson 10 and take a look there. So I can go back to lesson 10 and I can look for examples in what we did because it's been a while. So I can see, oh, I used this link rel style sheet href style.css. Cool. So I can just copy that. And I can go back to my project, and you didn't have to go back to the beginning like I did. Okay, so I need to make a personal website now. That's exciting. It actually goes in the head section. Oh. And then here, now, this is the part, if you want to make a different one for each page and you rename it, I need to actually look here. And this is where the href, just like the href for the a tag, that's the actual link. So if I want to if I change the name of my style.css to like something like index, and all I do is href equals, and then index.css. Or I can type it. Then here, if I start adding stuff, they give you some basics to remind you of what to do, but maybe I want to change the background to red, you know, the P color to blue, blue-violet, something like that. So it already gets you started on the basics, which is great. So let's take a look at the rubric. So on the front is a checklist. If you have a printer, you can print it out and check it. Or not. This is basically follows how I would do this kind of in order. And on the back is the sort of official rubric. So to get the max, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different topics. Last time there were 5. And then to get the max one for using computer languages, there should be few, so like maybe 1, 2 at most, but probably like 1 or 0 errors in your CSS. There should be at least 4 different HTML tags are styled. So remember, a tag is something like body, P, H1, list, images. At least 4. This will be really easy to hit. And then you should make sure the web page itself should have a defined background. If you want the defined background to be white, fine. But just make sure that you list it out explicitly, each web page. Similarly, we need at least 6 different properties. So here, automatically, they give you background, color, and font weight. This is interesting. I don't know what did font weight. We've never even talked about this one. But you could do like font size. 300 px. Don't do this. It's too big. But there, I defined font size and it made it really big. again, if you need, we've gone through like at least 10 different ones of these in previous lessons. So just go back and look. Later, so this is the focus for today and tomorrow, is to get this done. Coming up ahead, like on Thursday, we're going to review and do the classes, the thing we did with the winter, spring, summer, and fall. So you can do that. It's not hard. You may need to go back to that lesson. And then finally, to sort of get the max number of points, each web page should have its own style sheet. So just like here I changed this to be index.css and like index.html. Your projects, which you spent today fixing, would be something like maybe birds.html. Maybe you have Squidward. Oh, I got squids in my brain, I guess. Squidward. Yeah, Squidward.html. And then maybe you want it for each of these, you make a CSS page. So for birds, I'm going to have birds.css. And then maybe for Squidward, I want to have Squidward.css, where it's just pictures. You just modify the pictures of handsome Squidward that you have in the .html. Yeah, and then this is the part you worked on today, revising the HTML code. So for those, if you didn't do it, if you never had any issues, if a handful of people had perfect scores, congrats, you get these free points. Congratulations. I feel totally fine about that. I like rewarding, I don't mind rewarding hard work. And then if you had very few, like most people have them fixed. So great, it's done. Awesome, good job. Cool, so this is a total of 18 points. And that's what we're working on this week. Office hours are by Google Meet now. We're not using Zoom. So you'll see the link just like today. So stop by if you have questions. So the Google question, summarize what you did on the work, or write a question you have. So if you have a question instead, I do read them, especially if they're done earlier in the day. Like by 2, I definitely read it the same day, and I'll often have time to reply. And if you do it during the class time, I'm on the computer as our class, responding to questions and reaching out. Bye. How do I turn this off?